Well, folks, welcome to another Friday fishing forecast, and I gotta say, we finally have a weekend that looks really good weather-wise. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Only issue is that we have high pressure sitting over us right now, and with this clear blue sky, it's making fishing difficult. I went out with my friend Captain William Wise and his son Jake on Wednesday, and the bite was tough, and you probably already saw that video where I talked about the high pressure and what it does to affect fish. And a lot of people don't realize that when a high pressure comes in like this, what it does is it actually shrinks the fish's swim bladder, so they become disoriented, and they're trying their best to stay buoyant at that point. So it affects them tremendously, and when it shrinks their swim bladder like that, it makes them feel bloated, so they're not wanting to eat. And some people laugh at me because I get a little bit scientific on things, but after being on the water for 35 years now, I've seen my fair share of things, and I kind of have an idea of when things are going to go good and when things are going to go bad. I had high hopes for our last trip, but unfortunately, it just didn't pan out very well. But our main objective really was to go out and find new spots for Captain William Wise and get him out in the main shipping channel, since he's got a trolling motor on his boat now. So it was fun. We had a good time, and that's what it's all about, is going out, catching fish. We caught some fish and having a good time and just kind of jabbing each other and things like that. But anyway, again, I want to say thank you for all of the support on the Black Friday sale. It was unbelievable. Thank you very much. As I've mentioned before, on our website, we do have gift certificates available. So you can go to our website at tampabayfishingchannel.com, and if you have a loved one that loves to fish, that might be a great gift for them. So again, tampabayfishingchannel.com, and we have a link right there, as you'll see on the screen. But anyway, like I said, this weekend looks like it's going to be beautiful. The winds are going to be laid down. There's going to be decent tides in the morning and early afternoon, and then they're going to flatten out late in the afternoon. I'm hoping that this high pressure just does not keep shutting them down, but there's barely a cloud in the there's not a cloud in the sky. There's some wispy clouds way out there, but other than that, there's not a cloud in the sky, and that's usually an indication that we do have high pressure built over us. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the Friday fishing forecast and talk about the tides and schooners for this weekend. Again, there's not going to be much said about the weather, simply because it's going to be beautiful. So let's get into the tides and schooners. All right, folks, here let's go ahead and talk about the tides and schooners for this weekend. On Saturday, we have a low tide at 7:19 a.m. at a negative 0.79 foot. Then we have a high tide at 2:38 p.m. at a 1.40 foot. And then we have a low tide at 5:21 p.m. at a 1.31 foot. And then on Sunday, we have a low tide at 8:11 a.m. at a negative 0.83 foot, a high tide at 3:52 p.m. at a 1.32 foot, and a low tide at 5:17 p.m. at a 1.31 foot. Now let's talk about the schooners for Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, we have a major feeding time from 11:46 a.m. to 1:46 p.m. Then we have a minor feeding time from 5:31 p.m. to 6:31 p.m. Then our major feeding time on Sunday is 12:52 to 2:52 p.m. and we have a minor feeding time from 8:07 a.m. to 9:07 a.m. Now, as you saw, we have some of those negative tides this weekend, and actually the negative tides for me for inshore fishing are some of my favorite, and I've talked about this before, and I'll keep harping on it. The negative low tides will actually put fish into certain areas where they typically would not be. That being said, you would look for, my biggest thing when I look for fish, especially on flats and back bay areas and things like that, and that's where you want to be looking this time of year, I would definitely be looking for the big mullet. If you can find the big mullet and you see that they're concentrated in an area, then most likely, and I'm not saying it's 100%, but most every time that I've been in this situation where I found mullet, either on a flat in potholes or something like that, those fish have been stacked up with them. So if you can find that, if you're going to go flats fishing, that is one key thing to look for, especially on these negative low tides, is looking for those big mullet. If you can find the mullet, then those fish are not going to be far behind. So anyway, that concludes this Friday fishing forecast. Again, thank you very much for the support. We really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to touch base with us. Oh, by the way, on that offshore video that I did with Jiggy, we showed that hogfish, and when I mentioned the 14 inches to the tip of the tail, after the fact, what happened is I went back to my phone and I actually looked up the regulations. Luckily, we were far enough inshore that we could actually look up the regulations on our phone. So that's exactly what I did. And come to find out, it wasn't 14 inches to the tip. It was actually 14 inches to the fork of the tail. So when I found that out, we went ahead and threw that fish back. And but I want to say thank you to the people that have actually mentioned it in comments and kind of bringing it to light. I appreciate that you guys are staying on top of that. Thank you very much. I couldn't ask for more when it comes to that. That's why you want to make sure that you have either Fish App Rules or something like that on your phone, or at My FWC. And if you're going out of range, make sure you take a screenshot of it, because if you're out of range, you won't be able to look it up because you won't have internet. So with that being said, thank you for those people that have mentioned that. I really appreciate it. You didn't try to dog me or anything else like that. You were just trying to bring it to the attention, which fortunately I looked at it before we decided to go ahead and keep that fish. I went back because hogfish have always got me tripped up. If you remember, Chad and I had a conversation about it one day when we were offshore. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you all for that. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.